Joining us right now, political analyst Dick Morris, author of the new book, Power Grab, Obama's Dangerous Plan for a One-Party Nation. Dick, as I referenced earlier, as you join us from Philadelphia, you have had a hand in writing States of the Union past. Your evaluation of President Obama's speech last night?
Well, he delivered it, J.D., to a joint session of Congress and to an audience of the American people. But I think he really had one person in mind as he gave this speech, Hillary Clinton. Because the battle for the soul of the Democratic Party, will it move to the center as it did under her husband, or will it tack to the left as it did under Obama, really is going on within the mind of Hillary Clinton as the likely Democratic nominee. And Obama was really giving this speech to set out a clear agenda for his base, for the left of the party, a series of objectives and goals that he knows Congress won't pass. But by putting it out on the table and advocating it, giving it that level of publicity, he's hopefully, in his view, creating a storm among the base that will capture Hillary and require her to run on that platform. In effect, he was writing the 2016 platform for the Democratic Party. And Hillary, by the way, tweeted as soon as the speech was over that he etched out a far-reaching and bold agenda for the country. So she seems to be taking the bait.
I think Senator Orrin Hatch of Utah issued a response to the president's State of the Union speech. He wrote in part, President Obama's unilateralism and refusal to set politics aside further demonstrate his unwillingness to work together and reach lasting solutions for the American people. Now, this seems to be the case in a whole host of things. The president promised higher taxes, premature veto threats, overreaching regulations, and more government spending. What are your thoughts on that, Dick?
I think that he's right. I think Obama has decided not to conciliate with this Congress. He's made the opposite decision from the one Bill Clinton made when the Republicans took Congress in 1994. And I think that the Republicans are happy to oblige him. I think the Republican Party will pass a series of bills that are their agenda, their platform for 2016. Pass the House, pass the Senate, put it on Obama's desk, and let a pile of vetoes emerge, one after the other. Vetoing the pipeline, Keystone, vetoing the 40-hour work week for Obamacare, full-time definition, vetoing Iran's sanctions, and let those vetoes pile up. And that becomes the Republican agenda in 2016. In the meantime, Obama has a different game. He's piling up a pile of proposals that aren't going anywhere in Congress, but that will animate the left in this country for decades to come. Let's remember that ever since Truman and Johnson and Obama have passed the bulk of the left's agenda, they don't have a lot left. There's not a lot of things that they want. And now Obama has outlined it. Guaranteed paid leave for family purposes, vastly increased tax credit, basically making daycare federal responsibility, a new tax break for second earners. This is all the wish list of the left's agenda. And he's laying it out now in order to mousetrap Hillary to be sure she's pinned to it.
Well, now, you mentioned mousetrapping Hillary, but for her part, you made mention of the tweet, and it appears she's going willingly as she estimates what she needs to do to get the nomination. Let's repeat the tweet, and then we'll get your comments. Here's what the former First Lady tweeted out. Barack Obama in the State of the Union pointed a way to an economy that works for all. Now we need to step up and deliver for the middle class. Hashtag fair share. Hashtag fair shot. So, Dick, in the 45 seconds left, she's running to the base of the party. Does that present a problem for her getting to the general election?
No, I think it certainly will help her get there, but I think it'll hamstring her once she's there. I think by embracing this left agenda, she's really ultimately hurting her chances of winning the general election. And I think Obama knows that. And I think he knows that Bill and Hillary would like to move to the center once they get the nomination, and he's trying to make it impossible for them to do so.
And one thing that is quite possible now is for you to get your copy of the best-selling book by Dick Morris. Again, the title is Power Grab. You can get the book by visiting the website powergrab411.com. Now, when we come back, more with Dick Morris, plus later Senator Ron Johnson. That's all ahead on America's Forum. Let's also welcome back in political analyst Dick Morris, author of the book Power Grab, Obama's Dangerous Plan for a One-Party Nation. Dick, while people read your book, we need to grab the metaphorical playbook that Mr. Obama is using. We've been talking about taxes. We talked about the speech last night. A lot of people focused on a tax hike, but the president has some plans in terms of tax credit for a significant number of Americans. Take us through that.
Well, Obama's plan, long term, is to increase the number of Americans who get entitlements, means-tested entitlements, and to decrease the number of Americans who have full-time jobs, and to make more people not pay taxes than pay taxes. And when at the moment they're about evenly balanced, you have about 50% that pay some income tax and 50% that do not. With this proposal, he will skew that. We don't have the stats yet, and we don't have his exact proposal, but probably more like 55-45 in favor of the non-taxpayers. If you're going to cut taxes on low-income people, that's fine. Lower the tax rate so everybody still pays something, just less, or adopt other policies that encourage lower tax payments, but still build in the necessity for tax payments. But by saying that we're going to exempt $3,000 per child for child care expenses, so that with 3 kids in child care, you could get $9,000 off your taxes, which means that if you're making less than $40,000 or $45,000, you pay no taxes. You're taking millions of American families out of the tax system. And at that point, they don't give a damn. They don't care how high taxes go or who gets elected. They're not paying. And more of the burden is paid by fewer and fewer people. I have no problem with more and more of the burden paid by fewer and fewer people. I have a huge problem with more and more people having no burden at all.
Now, Dick, Mitt Romney, potential 2016 candidate for the GOP, reacted to the president's speech on Facebook. He said, true to form, the president is more interested in politics than leadership, and that his new tax proposal is a maze of complexities. Among those tax proposals, a higher capital gains tax for couples with joint filing over roughly $450,000. So my question for you, Dick, is what's your reaction to the idea that we're seeing a Robin Hood president here?
Well, yeah, except he's shooting himself in the foot with the arrow. The capital gains tax is kind of a wall that separates innovation from investment. When somebody comes up with a great new way to do something, to a cell phone or a computer or the internet, that's innovation. But he can't take it to market unless he gets somebody to put up some money. And when someone puts up money but invests in him, they're taking a risk. And if his invention falls flat, they lose all their money. But if their invention succeeds, they don't get to keep all their money. They have to pay under Obama 29% of it to the government. So it's a tax on investment, and it stops people from funding innovation and from funding the very essence of what generates employment in the United States. And above all, the capital gains tax is a tax that produces no revenue, none, zero. When you raise the capital gains tax, the history has been that people cut back their investment, cut back their transactions, and you get less money. The way Bill Clinton balanced the budget in 1997 was by cutting the capital gains tax. More people invested, the government made more money, and that windfall permitted 3 years of a balanced budget. Now Obama's doing the opposite.
Now,
Why? Not to collect revenue, just to get even with the rich.
Just a friendly amendment, Dick. It was the Republicans in Congress. I was on the Ways and Means Committee. They got that tax bill done, but we did work with President Clinton so we can share the glory. Listen, earlier in this program, and we got about...
It's his name at the bottom of the paper.
Yeah, okay, I got you. You put an asterisk down there. With a minute remaining, Ted Poe, the Texas Republican, was with us this morning. He was saying President Obama is in a world of his own, ignoring the election that we just went through and just seemingly oblivious to reality. Is there anything to that claim?
Yeah, well, I think what I said in the earlier segment, Obama is addressing this speech at his base, at the left wing of the Democratic Party, in the hopes that it remains in power and that Hillary embraces that agenda. The book Eileen and I wrote, Power Grab, talks about how he wants to give the Democratic Party permanent dominance. But to do that, he has to make sure the left controls the Democratic Party. And that's what yesterday's speech was all about.
And that's why you should get your copy of that best-selling book by Dick Morris and his lovely bride, Eileen McGann. Again, the title, Power Grab, Obama's Dangerous Plan for a One-Party Nation. And you can get it now at the website powergrab411.com. Now, our thanks to Dick Morris. And when we come back, Senator Ron Johnson has some new legislation. We'll talk about it.